I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit everything I want to show into this video, but I'm going to try. Let's do this.
And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the
classic. Time.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex from Alex Spins Vinyl. I know, it's been a minute since I made a video. Super busy at work, and then super busy month DJing. I think I had about 3 weekends where I was just DJing non-stop, so I haven't really had time to sit down and make a video for you guys. So let's get into this, starting off with the 12-inch singles. I was going to show some 7s, because I'm getting my 7-inch single collection back in full swing again, all thanks to David Michael. Of course, not blaming you, Dave, but it's kind of your fault for showing singles on your channel. Again. No, love you really, dude. Basically, what's going to happen is I'll save the singles for another time, because that collection is, of course, like I said, getting back in full swing. So I'm going to skip those and go straight into the 12-inch singles. Starting off with Mac Band, Roses Are Red. Big song on the soul scene, particularly in Ghana. Very nice tune. 9.5 minutes though, and that's just the extended version of this song. Back with the instrumental, but like I said, a very big song on the soul scene. And when I say soul, what I mean is funk R&B, more along the lines of, because there's going to be a lot of that in this video. This is probably one of my least diverse videos that you're going to see on my channel, because normally I jump from genre to genre all the time. This one, you know, we've got soul, we've got soundtracks, and then we've got maybe a couple other things at the end that are a bit random. But yeah, this is going to be the most choreographed video ever, I think, on my channel. But yeah, no, Mac Band, Roses Are Red. If you like funk R&B, check this song out, because it is quite big on the soul scene. Definitely worth checking out. And another song that's big on the soul scene is Will Downing and Love Supreme. And as the title would suggest, it is his tribute to John Coltrane. Will Downing, I love his voice, he's phenomenal. He's got songs like Sending Out an SOS, I Love Supreme, that just connect with me really well. In fact, Will Downing's first album is, I would say, one of my favourite soul albums of all time. But yeah, this is a very good song. The mixes, I could live without the mixes on this. It's just for the album version of A Love Supreme on a 12-inch single that I got this for. So yeah, that's the reason I picked that up. I actually picked that up today, so that's how soon I'm making this video. The other two 12-inch singles I'm going to show you are actually just classic 80s tunes. Simply Red, Holding Back the Years. Been getting into Simply Red a lot recently, for whatever reason, I don't know. But of course, Holding Back the Years. You've got Drowning in My Own Tears on the flip side, and Picture Book in dub as well. On WEA. But yeah, I had to grab that for when I do, if I ever do classic 80s nights. And the same thing with this one, Higher Love, Steve Winwood. Back with the instrumental, and I go. So yeah, just got it for Higher Love really. But yeah, there it is, from the 12-inch. So I've been getting my Stevie Wonder collection back in full swing, and that may be because I'm going to go and see him at Hyde Park in July. So I picked up this Music for Pleasure compilation called Light My Fire. Music for Pleasure, if you're unaware, is a cheap reissue label here in the UK that was going around in the early to late 70s. They just did a lot of these really cheap compilations and a few reissues of popular bands to kind of make a little bit of money, I would say. But I only grabbed this big one because one, it's Stevie Wonder, and two, there's actually songs on here that I don't have from Stevie Wonder. The first one, I'll just list off some of the tracks on here because it's mostly cover versions of songs, but there are a couple of original songs, which is why I grabbed them. The first one was I was made to love her. That's the big song on this album. I picked this one up for. It's got his covers, and then some of his cover versions: Respect, My Girl, Light My Fire. Very weird song for Stevie to cover, but he does it very well. And he's also got Mr. Tambourine Man and Blowing in the Wind on here as well. So grabbed that just for the Stevie Wonder collection. Now these next 3 albums I'm going to show you are all funk R&B, but they were all freebies because my boss at the record store is actually very generous. Especially for albums like these. But 1 are actually pretty cheap anyway. 2 have been sitting there for ages, and 3 I've been bugging him for one of these at least. This first one is D-Train. I never see any D-Train stuff, ever, really. I have 1 album from him and it's not in great shape. This is mint. It's a compilation with all his best tracks. I'm not gonna say no when I'm offered it for free. Very good stuff. Keep On is basically the song that will define D-Train, if you will. Keep On. Music's good. Keep Giving Me Love is good. Also, You're the One for Me is on here as well. Very, very good. And actually, a lot of the songs on here, You're the One for Me was actually produced by Paul Hardcastle, who famously did 19. So definitely worth checking out if you like the electro R&B stuff. Very nice stuff there, D-Train. And this guy is along the same lines, like I said. It's Lilo Thomas with Lilo, his first album. Big track on here, particularly in the soul scene, is I'm in Love, which was produced by Kashif, who did a lot of the mid-80s George Benson stuff. Yeah, grabbed that as a freebie. Pretty nice stuff. 1987 on this one. American pressing. Capitol, the Rainbow Capitol label. I do like that label quite a bit. Yeah, this whole album is just fantastic. But again, I'm in Love will define his basically his career, or this entire album pretty much. There are some chilled songs on this one, but it is mainly the upbeat songs I got this for. This next one isn't really funk R&B. This is more disco, but it's on the verge of that transition from disco into the funk R&B. That's Gene Chandler with Get Down. The title track is the big track on here. 78 is the year on this album. On Shy Sound Records, which I think is a subsidiary of Fox. Yeah, 20th Century Fox. Another American pressing, and again, a very good album from front to back. So, was super stoked to have this one get added to the collection. So yeah, had to grab that. Some soundtracks. I've been really digging soundtracks recently, and soundtracks is something I've been meaning to build in my collection because there's a lot of movies I like. As you can see behind me, this is a full shelf of movies. You can't see over here or over there, but I have more movies there, more movies on the floor here, more down here. It's all crazy. This room is basically music and movies. So yeah, I love movies. Not as much as I love music, but I love movies. So I had to pick up some soundtracks. But this first one, I did not realize is the wrong version of the soundtrack. It's actually the live version of this album. It's Blues Brothers, Briefcase Full of Blues. The live album. Either way, it's got Soul Man on it. Their version of Soul Man, I love it, so I had to grab it just for that. And I'm not complaining because it's actually a very good recording. So picked that up. Do like that one. This next one I did share on Facebook. And Steve Carlson and Jeff Kempin had some very good things to say about this soundtrack. And coming from someone who doesn't like musicals, I do love this movie quite a bit. That's La La Land. There you go. 2016, I would say this is maybe my second favourite movie from 2016, verging on my favorite from that year. I love it that much. I love Emma Stone. I love Ryan Gosling. Their chemistry on screen together is incredible. They did a phenomenal job in this movie. And yeah, I cannot complain about how good this movie is. So, and how good the soundtrack is. Because like I said, I'm not normally a fan of musicals, but this one really tugged on my heartstrings. So I had to grab that one. This next one is not one of my favorite movies. But I do love the soundtrack. Well, I do like the movie a lot, but it's not one of my favorites. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. But it's the music on vinyl issue of the Maze Runner soundtrack. Now, of course, Music on Vinyl do a lot of soundtrack pressings, and Music on Vinyl is a great reissue label, but also a great label for original stuff as well. Number 852 of however many, I do not know, but they did a good job on this one. Still sounds very good. A little bit of damage on the top cover there from where I received it off of Amazon, but I'm not complaining. If you know the movie, you know that particular scene. And yeah, this is on a very nice maize green vinyl, which I'm not normally a fan of green, but and I wasn't planning on wearing my favorite hoodie today neither, which is green, but yeah, maize green vinyl, which actually looks really nice. So yeah, I'm not complaining about that one bit. Finally have that one in the collection, a soundtrack I've been meaning to get for a while, had my eye on for a while, finally grabbed it, so there it is, Maze Runner. On to a couple of grails now. This first one, I've actually shown both of these on Facebook. Wire, a bell is not a cup until it is struck. Oh sorry, a bell is a cup until it is struck. Great 80s album, 88 on Mute Records, which of course is the same label as Depeche Mode. This is a pretty expensive album. Finding this at the price I got it for was a nice score there. Custom label, on, like I said, on Mute. Definitely has that late 80s new wave post-punk sound to it. More new wave, but an album I have had my eye on for a while and finally grabbed it. So yeah, Wire, a bell is a cup until it is struck. Very, very good album from Wire. Next up is a jazz album. Jazz is another part of my collection that I want to build up, but I don't know enough about it to kind of just go out of my own way to pick stuff up. So as I see stuff I like, I'm grabbing it. And this is Wayne Shorter, Odyssey of Iska. American issue, a lot of ringwear on the cover, but the vinyl is mint, even though the store listed it as VG+. I do think they did mess up a bit there, because the price this was for the condition of the vinyl was just incredible. This album, I believe, yeah, 1970. Very, very good stuff. And on Blue Note, I don't have a lot of stuff on Blue Note, but I do like this label quite a bit, so had to grab that one. I have some Gregory Porter stuff on Blue Note, but nothing like from like before that. So nice to finally grab some original Blue Note stuff, like this one, for example, Wayne Shorter, who actually was in my last Vinyl Finds video, because he featured on the Weather Report album that I showed. So yeah, Wayne Shorter, Odyssey of Iska. Brilliant album. If I can get some needle drops in, I will. But don't be upset if I can't. I might just put some audio clips in just so you can hear them. But yeah, there it is. Wayne Shorter of Odyssey of Iska. This final one is actually a Record Store Day album from this year. I didn't go out on Record Store Day. I actually got this about 10 days after Record Store Day had finished. But this is Pete Rock, Return of the SP1200. Do like this album, actually. It's an instrumental album, but it's hip hop, and Pete Rock, I do obviously like Pete Rock quite a bit. There is that custom label. I don't have a lot of Record Store Day stuff because I have some very strong opinions about Record Store Day, but there's some comments for another time. But what I really like about this one is there is a little tribute on here. If you can see that, you probably won't be able to because of the shrink, but there is a tribute on there to Stan Lee. If you follow Pete Rock on Instagram, you see he's a big comic guy, so of course he's going to put special thanks to Stan Lee on the back of his album. So grabs that, well, mainly for that, but also mainly for Pete Rock's beats, because who don't like Pete Rock, right? That's it. I managed to fit everything I wanted to show into the video, which is great. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for bearing with me. I'll hope to have some more videos out later this week. It is my birthday this week, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film because I've got a lot of events coming up. Obviously my actual birthday on Thursday and I'm DJing on Saturday, so we'll see what I can do, but until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Peace.